And speaking of leadership woes, according to the New York Times, and they were citing senior Iranian officials, Iran's newly installed supreme leader, Khamenei Part 2, Return of the DICtator, is apparently recovering from injuries that are so severe that they may require plastic surgery. He apparently sustained severe burns in the airstrike that killed his father and predecessor, Ali Khamenei. That attack also killed his wife and son, while leaving the 56-year-old leader alive, but physically debilitated, largely isolated, and increasingly reliant on military commanders to do the actual governing. Khamenei Part 2 has been completely cut off from most of his officials as he attempts to recover from his injuries that they claim he survived amid concerns that revealing his location could make him a target, according to the New York Times. Despite his supposed condition, officials claim that he remains mentally alert and that he continues to weigh in on major decisions, but they admit that the day-to-day authority has increasingly shifted to Iran's hardline military commanders. Since being selected by Iran's Assembly of Experts following his father's targeted death in March, Khamenei Part 2 has not made a single public appearance or even offered a photo as proof of life, releasing only written statements that were issued in his name, leading to increasing questions about whether or not he is even actually alive. And now, Iran is prepping the world for extensive plastic surgery, as the cover story for why, whoever they eventually produce, is now unrecognizable. The Times reported that supposed Khamenei, the sequel, has injuries that include significant damage to one leg and one hand that will require multiple surgeries to repair, as well as severe facial burns that have limited his ability to speak and could likely necessitate reconstructive surgery to his face. While he's locked in a room with Yul Brynner being schooled on his new identity. It's a movie reference, look it up. Hint, Ingrid Bergman. The supposed leader communicates with the outside world only by written messages, never video, and his regime is relying on an entire network of trusted couriers that relay the handwritten messages, delivering them down the chain without ever seeing anyone themselves, traveling by car and motorcade to avoid detection, supposedly for the new supreme leader's protection. If he is still alive, and that's a huge if, here's the leader's backstory. A Nepo baby, born into Iran's ruling elite, Khamenei Part 2 blended religious studies with military involvement, two pursuits that seem to be inseparable in that region of the terrorist-producing world. As a teenager, little Khamenei joined an Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps brigade that is known as the Habib Battalion. That was during the Iran-Iraq War. He later completed his education at a theological seminary, was given the rank of Ayatollah, and worked closely with his father as a part of the dictator's inner circle, where he helped coordinate military and intelligence operations. Despite his influence over power, he has never been elected by anyone to hold any office at all. He has never even served in a formal senior government role. But that doesn't mean that he hasn't been wielding power. It just was not power that was wielded with the consent of the people under him. For his role in power, he has faced sanctions from the U.S. Treasury Department in 2019 and he has also been accused of being involved in the regime's crackdown on the 2009 Green Movement protests. So here's the progression. The Islamic Republic's founder, Ayatollah Ruhollah Khamenei, no relation, overthrew Iran's Shah during the 1979 revolution. The elder Khamenei was selected as supreme leader following his death, the founder's death. His son, or whoever they are prepping for extensive facial plastic surgery, has now assumed the top position, which has only raised questions about if nepotism is now the way of the Islamic Republic too, then how is it any different from the dynastic rulers that it overthrew? With supposed Khamenei the sequel sidelined by his injuries, hardline generals have taken on the dominant role in the decision-making. These generals are the ones shaping Iran's decisions at a critical moment in history. They are believed to be behind Tehran's refusal to participate in a second round of talks with American officials in Pakistan this week. After the Times reported about the power shifts and the reasons for them, senior Iranian officials desperately tried to project unity, issuing suspiciously aligned statements, all reaffirming their loyalty to the Khamenei regime, even as military leaders are taking over the real decision-making. President Mossad Pezeshkian insisted that there are no internal divisions, writing, "In Iran, there are no hardliners or moderates, only unity and obedience to the supreme leader." Okay. The Parliament Speaker, Mohammed Baghir Ghalibaf, and the so-called Judiciary Chief, Ghulam Hussein Mohseni Jai, echoed the exact same message, surprisingly enough.